This video is about how to choose the correct size commercial pattern to fit your measurements. We're going to trace this pattern off onto brown paper and then add additions or subtractions to it to customize it to fit you. Throughout this process, I want you to notice when the paper pattern represents the full shape that we're going to be working with, and when the paper pattern represents half the shape that we're going to be working with. Why this is partially to preserve paper, and also some of these pieces can be placed on the fold when we start to do the cutting process, and then when we cut 2 layers on the fold of the fabric and open that up, then we will have a complete back, for example, that matches and will be sewn to the complete yoke. This is a measurement computation chart that I'll use in class. This is the handout that I'll be giving you in class. It shows the main fit points that you'll take measurements for in computing how to grade up and grade down the shirt pattern. Once you've had your measurements taken, plug those in to the column labeled, oddly enough, your measurements. The next column over is how much ease you want to add. And there's a range, it's proportional, it just depends on how much ease you want in your shirt. So you'll add this much ease to your measurements to arrive at the total goal of what you want when you're done adding to the shirt pattern. As you remember, the commercial pattern comes printed all on one big piece of paper with many sizes on the same paper. So we need to figure out which size is going to work for you. It's easier to work with the commercial pattern if you cut it down into smaller pieces. You don't have to cut out each and every one of these, that would take too long, but something like this is fine. These are the yoke pieces, and you'll want to measure them shoulder point to shoulder point here across the back of the neck to see which one of these, the extra small, small onto extra large, will be closest to the measurement that you're after. In the previous video, I talked about the fit points. The neck needs to fit with room for about 1 finger's worth. Across the back is the more critical fit point, shoulder to shoulder. And that's the key measurement that we'll use in choosing which of the commercial patterns you're going to use for your size shirt. The next fit point you might consider is the collar. Remember that here at the center front of the collar, it overlaps itself. That's so that the button has a foundation that you stitch to right here at true center front, and the placket and the collar stick out a little bit past that. Over here, the buttonhole needs fabric all the way around it to be stitched in, and so it overlaps this edge of the buttonhole to this point where the button is stitched on. So when you're checking the pattern on the collar, you don't want to measure from the edge of the collar, you want to measure from the true center front point. Here's the commercial pattern with the several sizes of neckband, and they have the buttonhole on there. I'm darkening it so that maybe you can see that, but they don't have the button placement, and so I go through and I add dots for where the button would be stitched to, and that's helpful, as I talked about on the shirt, because you're going to want to apply your neck measurement from where the button is stitched to the far end of the buttonhole to see if this is the collar that will best fit your neck, plus a little bit of ease. So if the collar fits, and the yoke is the correct measurement across the back. These will be the two critical measurements that we'll use in choosing the commercial pattern that best fits your measurements. In a subsequent video, I'll be discussing how to grade up the pattern so that it is customized to your measurements.